Hello, welcome again to our latest episode of Uncle Russ's Comic Talk. I'm Uncle Russ. We're going to talk about comic books. I've got some comic books for sale. You can find them on eBay at Lot 22 Sellers. There'll be a link in the description below. Got a lot of nice books for sale this week and much more on the website that you can find. Also, a little bit later, we're going to be talking about Superman comic book covers and taking a look at some of the most strange, bizarre, and iconic examples from the 1950s and 60s. First up this week, The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 225, going all the way back to 1982. Have you ever thought that somebody was such a fool that you could just almost kill him? Just for nothing other than being a fool? Well, if you're like that, you'll like this character. He's a villain, but he's also a little bit of an anti-hero. Fool Killer. There he is on the cover, meeting up with our webbed superhero. This is a classic issue from '82, written by Roger Stern, with artwork by John Romita Jr. and Bob Wiacek. This can be yours today for $11.99. And next up to this week, The Avengers, number 215, also from 1982. This is the newsstand edition. This features one of my favorite Marvel villains, Molecule Man, Warren Reese, one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Also, guest appearance by Silver Surfer, and as you can see there on the cover, one of my favorite female heroines of the Marvel Universe, Tigra. This is the brief period of time when she did not have a tail. I like the version with the tail much better myself, but that's just me. Anyway, this had a fill-in issue art by Alan Weiss, and it's well worth $6.99. And a landmark issue of Daredevil, the newsstand edition of issue number 200, written by the great Denny O'Neil, with artwork by William Johnson and Danny Bulanati from 1983, featuring his nemesis, Bullseye, one of my favorite Daredevil covers of the entire run. Critically acclaimed run from Marvel. This one, number 200, can be yours for only $5.99. And here's an issue of my favorite Marvel title of all time, The Defenders, issue number 108. This also is a newsstand edition, written by the great J.M. DeMatteis and the late Mark Gruenwald. The breakdowns were done by Don Perlin, one of my favorite favorite artists, and the ink finish done by a who's who of great Marvel talent: Sal Trapani, Hilary Barta, Al Milgrom, and Jolton Joe Sinnott. I like these issues that were sort of like a jam of a whole bunch of different professionals that work together to meet a deadline or somehow other finish off an issue. A lot of times these issues are not critically acclaimed, but I like the fact that so many hands worked on one issue. This is yours for $6.99. And here we have a issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, going all the way back to 1980. This is issue number 40, written by Bill Mantlo, artwork by Frank Springer and Ricardo Villamonte, featuring the Lizard, also featuring the Frightful Four, at this time composed of the Wizard, the Sandman, Electro, and the Trapster. I love the Trapster. He's a real loser of a villain, but I gotta admit, I like his first name better. He was originally known as Paste Pot Pete. I'm not making that up. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. $4.99, and it's yours. And The Mighty Thor, number 317. This is a newsstand edition, written by Doug Mensch. Artwork, the cover by Keith Pollard. Keith Pollard did the layouts. Once again, this was a jam issue where the number of professionals came together to finish it off. We got Pablo Marcos, Joseph Rubinstein. We've got Chick Stone and Brett Breeding. They've got a mix of quite a who's name of talent all working on this one. This is a bargain. Can be yours today for $6.99.
Hello, everybody. It's Ben Shrewsbury.
This is Uncle Russ.
And we are the Two Marks from the Two Marks and a Spark Wrestling Show right here on Lock 22. Be sure to check us out every single Sunday and sometimes Monday for all your professional wrestling needs, only on youtube.com/Lock22.
And finally, being offered for sale this week at Lock 22 Sellers, the Uncanny X-Men, number 149, going all the way back to 1981. This is the newsstand edition. This is a classic run of the new X-Men, written by Chris Claremont with artwork by Dave Cockrum and Joseph Rubinstein. This one is a highly sought-after run. It's critically acclaimed, and it's one of my favorites. This can be yours this week for only $7.99. Brought one of my favorite books. Picked this up recently. It's out of print, but I picked it up on a half-price bookshelf. Here we're going to be taking a look at classic covers of Action Comics of the Silver Age, 1950s and 1960s. A lot of the artists featured here are Jack Abel, Neil Adams, Murphy Anderson, and Kurt Swan, the greatest combination of Superman in my opinion. Wayne Boring, whose artwork was anything but boring. Dick Giordano, Carmen Infantino, George Klein, Sheldon Moldoff, Jim Mooney, Winslow Mortimer, Kurt Schaffenberger. These artists, they depicted the universe in which Superman and his super family lived. It was the era in which I grew up watching Superman. I think my very first memory of the character is probably the 1950s television series with George Reeves playing Clark Kent and Superman. And this features many of the classic covers from throughout the decades. I'd like to show you up close some of my favorites. First classic iconic cover by Kurt Swan and Al Plastino, Action Comics number 252, the Supergirl from Krypton. Is she friend or foe? The very first appearance of Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin, who survived the planet Krypton's destruction just as Superman did. Action Comics number 243 from August of 1958 by Kurt Swan and Stan Kaye. Here we have Superman with the head of a lion, the lady and the lion. Lots of very strange transformations of Superman over the years. This is not by any means the most bizarre. Here we've got from April 1967, Kurt Swan and George Klein, The Face of Fear, Superman taking on the Mummy. This would have been right around the time when the Mummy was a very popular monster. The Universal monster films were in TV syndication at the time. And like a lot of kids, I was really into that. So this cover would have screamed out to me from the rack in the store and said, "Spend your 12 cents on me, buy me right away." Action Comics number 310, featuring cover artists Kurt Swan and George Klein, The Secret of Kryptonite 6. Look here, we've got green kryptonite, gold kryptonite, red, white, and blue. Well, Kryptonite 6. What could it be? And here, also from July 1964, Action Comics number 314, years before the Amalgam universe. Here we got two superheroes in one. The day Superman became the Flash. And finally, from April 1959, Action Comics number 251, art by Kurt Swan and Stan Kaye. Will Superman live forever? See what happens when he becomes the oldest man in Metropolis. Look at that long white beard. Anyway, those covers are a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at this book. We'll be taking a look at some more books like that in the future. Want to remind you in regards to all of the books that we listed for sale today that you'll find a link in the description below taking you to eBay, to our page there, Lock 22 Sellers. Want to remind you that we will combine purchases in order to save you substantial amounts of money on shipping. You can take a look at any of our books there. There's lots of things for sale. Any questions or inquiries or offers will be considered. Email us. Also want to invite you to tune in to the other show, which I co-host here on Lock 22 channel on YouTube, and that is Two Marks and a Spark. We'll be doing 2 programs this weekend, and hope you enjoy the pro wrestling commentary each and every time. Thank you kindly. Hopefully you found something that you liked today. If you'd like to purchase any of these books, check for the links in the description below. There'll be more books for sale every week. Lock 22 Sellers on eBay. Lock 22. Have a good day. Lock.